Hello, class. Today we are going to be doing the letter E. But first, let's review the ones we've already done, all right? We've got A. A says ah, ah, ah. Now we go to B. B says uh, uh, uh. Now C. C says k, k, k. D says d, d, d. Now we're going to move on to E. E is our letter of the day. E is for Ellie Elephant. Ellie Elephant reaches out her nose, picks up some peanuts, and brings them back to her mouth. When she brings it back to her mouth, she goes, to put it in her mouth. So you go, eh, eh, eh. E says, eh, eh. Just like this is the end of your elephant nose. Now, I personally love elephants. I've got an elephant necklace, and in the classroom, I even have a little elephant with a whole bunch of little fake leaves on it, okay? So pretend like you're an elephant. Put out your trunk, act like your nose is super long, and go, eh, eh, eh. So E says, eh, eh, eh. Now, E also will say its name. It is one of our vowels. So E will say its name, which is E, and it'll also go eh, eh, eh. So we're going to start off from the beginning. Ready? A says ah, ah, ah. Whoop. Are you saying it with me? Let's try it again. Ready? A says ah, ah. B says whoop. It's upside down. B says b, b, b. C says k, k, k. D says d, d, d. And E says eh, eh, eh. You guys can do the movements with them if you would like, or you could just stand up and you could say them as loud as you can through the house so everybody knows what your sounds make. Now, since we've worked on saying the sounds of E, we need to write an E. So let's look at our E first. We've got our E on here. Let's see. Now, E says earth. That's where we live. We live on earth. And electricity. I have lights on. You guys have lights on. Your computer is going. All of this stuff takes electricity. It makes things go. All right. Electricity starts with the eh, eh, eh. Earth is eh, eh, eh. Now let's look at the bottom. Our bottom is our E's. Our E, we are going to start up from the sky and go all the way down to the earth. Now you're going to go back up to the sky. You're going to make a little line, almost like a little head on the top. And then you're going to go to where the dotted line is, which sometimes I call the horizon and sometimes I call the belt. So you're going to go right across on your dotted line. So it's right there. So you're just going to trace over your dotted line. And then you're going to give it one leg, kind of like it's sitting with its legs out. So if it's sitting like this, it's got its legs out. All right. And then our little E. Let's look at our little E. Our little E is not up in the sky. It does not go up here at all. It stays under our dotted line. Now, also, look, it does not go down into the earth either. Our little E stays in the green area, all right? So we want to make sure it stays in that area. So we are going to work on our writing right now, okay? So what I need you guys to do is you can either have your paper in front of you, or what you could do is just watch me while I do mine, all right? Just one moment. We're going to flip over to our paper. All right, we've got our paper here. So we are going to make sure we put our pencil box in front of us. So we've got our pencil box here. Inside of our pencil box, we are going to get our pencil, one that's sharpened, and we're going to get our colors. Everything else we're going to close up and we're going to put safely aside, just so that nothing gets lost. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil out and we need to write our name at the top. Make sure you are taking your time to write your name nice and neat. We do not want to have any sloppy handwriting, all right? If you practice with neat handwriting, you will do neat handwriting. And also when you practice with neat handwriting, you will be able to do neat handwriting really quick when you get old and gray like me. All right, so up at the top corner, we have got our first, we're gonna zoom, 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 just like we zoomed last week. We are gonna go up to the top. Notice, we are doing our first line that starts up at the sky, goes down to the grass. Now we're gonna go back up to the sky and we're gonna do a line right across. You're gonna go to the horizon or the belt and you're gonna trace over that dotted line, and then you're gonna go to the E and you're gonna give it a leg to stand on. Notice I'm not going like this over and over and over again on my paper. We only need to make one line, okay? Just one. Now we've got our little E. Our little E starts in the middle of the dotted line and the bottom line. You're gonna go across. They call that parallel. Parallel is when two things are next to each other, but they don't meet. Like if you guys are driving on the freeway or even on the road and you see that little dotted line in the middle of the road, it runs parallel to the side of the road. That dotted line is not gonna touch the side of the road. It's gonna keep going straight. So it's gonna run right alongside. All right, so we are gonna go up and around. Now, we left enough room right here for the E to eat. It will jump in here and it'll eat. We do not want to make sure that, or we want to make sure, sorry, that we do not connect that bottom line to the top line, because then it's just an O with a line through it. So we've got our pictures. Our pictures are egg, my favorite, an elephant, and an elf. All right, so we're gonna go down to the bottom. As we're going down to the bottom, we're gonna start over on our left-hand side. Remember, our left-hand side is the hand that makes a capital L. Or for me, it's my one that makes a capital L, and it's the one that my panda bear lives on. See, my little panda bear for today. Hello. All right, so we're gonna go over to the top, and we're gonna go from the sky to the grass. And then again, here, let's make this go out just a little bit to make it so that it's easier to see. Zoom out, out, out. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to give it a head, a waist, and legs. From the sky to the grass, cross the sky, cross the horizon, and in the grass. Let's go back to the grass one. So we're gonna go from the sky to the grass, across the sky, across the horizon, and across the grass. You are gonna continue on and do the last, let's count together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna do mine by myself. It's gonna go from the top or from the sky to the grass. Now I'm gonna go to the sky, I'm gonna do a line across, horizon line across, and we've got the line in the grass. Notice my capital E is not floating off into space. Look at it, it's not touching down there. We do not want it to do this. Also, we don't want your E to be super small. We don't want to shrink our E. Make sure our E goes from the top all the way to the bottom. Now we are going to try one more nice one just so that we end it on a good E. So from the sky to the grass, line across the sky, line across the horizon, and line across the grass. All right, we're going to go down to our little E's. Our little E's, we are going to start with our line that's in the middle. Remember, it runs parallel, just like these lines here. Notice how these lines are not touching, or the top line and the bottom line? That's what you call parallel. They run right next to each other, but they don't touch. So we are going to do the line across, go up, down, and around. Again, line across, up, down, and around. Make sure that that's not connecting. Remember, you got to leave enough room for your E's mouth. Now I'm going to go down to my bottom one, and I'm going to go across. Notice it's not touching either of these lines. I'm going to go up, down, and around. Mine's a little smaller than that one, but that's okay, all right? And I'm going to do my, I forgot, my finger space. You guys are correct. So I'm going to do my finger space. I'm actually going to take my yellow out because when I start writing my sentences, I'm going to use yellow to do my finger spaces. So I'm going to do a yellow right there just to make sure I have enough room. Now I'm going to go over, up, and around. Get my yellow out again. You're doing one line. I'm not going super fast. I'm taking my time. Going up to the dotted line, down and around. Take your time with your E's because sometimes they can get a little confusing and they're kind of hard because sometimes you'll want to do them this way. If you see them going like this, just say, uh-oh. You can just cross it out or you can erase it and then we're going to do it again. Your E should be facing the same way as your big E, your capital E. So if you're looking at your capital E and your lowercase e, they're both in line facing over to my right hand. All right, next you're going to do your coloring. When you're doing your coloring, make sure you're coloring in nice and neat. We want to make sure that our elephant does not have all of its colors leaking out onto the sky and the grass around it. So you want to make sure it is nice and neat. No scribble scrabble, please. Take your time. Even if it's not something you're totally excited about doing, I still want you to try your hardest for me, please, because practice makes perfect. All right, so this is your E's for today. Remember, E says eh, eh, eh. We'll see you tomorrow for your D's. Have a great day. Bye, guys.